It is not in my position to convince anybody about my health issues. I have all the necessary, documents here, their hospitals, but I don't think it is wise for me to publish my report on social media. People can personally scrutinize, people that are reputable, people that want to check their hospitals, to do their necessary investigation. I don't think cancer is something anybody wants to lie about.
Yeah, but if you say that people don't have a right to your privacy of your report, I think they are very entitled to, because they are donating to a cause. They must know that this cause does exist. Yes,
like from the initial stage, I cried out on social media, not because I wanted money. I was genuinely concerned and worried.
But you also said it was stage 4.
Yeah, when that was what I was told.
Who were you told that?
That was what I was told.
That's what
my
the doctor
report.
told you?
Yes, so that was why when I said stage 4, you
How
could
did
see
they know that it was stage 4? How did your doctor know that it was stage 4?
It's from the report. When they do the biopsy. I don't know. I'm not a medical.
Okay, let me ask a doctor in the house. This is why I brought her in. Okay. So from what Blessing is saying, she discovered when the first time she went to the doctor, as she said, it was a lump, and they told her it was non-cancerous, right?
Yes.
She goes back there 6, 7, 8 months later. Yeah. And that's how she discovered that it was cancer stage 4. So, for you, as a doctor, what are the procedures what would you like to ask her concerning how she got from that level to the stage 4 level?
First of all, I'm very interested to know what type of doctor you saw, because there's a lot of disparity that I don't expect in medical personnel.
Okay, what are disparities?
So first of all, when a patient comes to me and complains of a lump, I will not do a biopsy first. I will first do an imaging. So I'll tell you to either do an ultrasound scan if you're less than 40, you're 35, 40. Then if you're above 40, you can do a mammogram before we get to the biopsy. And if you then do a biopsy, depending on what we're suspecting based on your history, you either do a fine needle aspiration cytology or a core biopsy, right? And after that, even if, because what you're describing kind of sort of sounds like you did a fine needle aspiration cytology, right? Even at that, no doctor on the surface of this earth that is qualified would allow a patient to move around with a lump in their breast for 6 months, because you don't know. Even if you do a fine needle aspiration cytology, they can be false negative. There's a very high chance of it being false negative. So you can never tell unless you remove the lump and you do a proper biopsy of the lump.
So what are the consistencies in her story?
So I find it very interesting that so I'm interested to know the type of doctor you saw. What type of doctor?
I think it's an oncologist.
Okay, so now, fantastic. So I work in a teaching hospital. We don't send patients to an oncologist unless you have a core biopsy result.
Well, she hadn't had
because usually you start with a general surgeon. General surgeon will establish the fact that it is cancerous. And oncologist is not the first person. Based on the fact that you even said, the person said it is not cancerous, no doctor will send you. That's why I'm interested to know the doctor. No doctor will send you to an oncologist with a non-malignant result.
Like I said, you go into the hospital, I noticed a lump on my boobs.
Was it Lagos or Enugu? Because I
was in Enugu.
Okay.
So I went into the hospital, complained.
Was it a teaching hospital?
No, it wasn't a teaching hospital. It was a private hospital.
Okay, and it has an oncologist. That private hospital has an oncologist.
Let me explain.
Okay.
So walking into the hospital, you go to a normal doctor. I don't even know what they're called, but you went to a doctor, he examined, he found the lumps.
Okay.
That was when he said, let's do a biopsy. I don't know what a biopsy is.
Without an imaging?
No.
That's very strange.
No imaging, because...
Is that possible?
It's not possible. It's not possible. Because biopsy is very invasive. Nobody will grab your breast and just do a biopsy without an imaging.
There was no imaging.
Was it the left breast or the right breast?
The left breast.
Okay.
So they didn't do an imaging, they just said go for a biopsy. It was when I went for the biopsy, it took about
Was it painful?
What was the biopsy process like?
Yes, what was the process like?
Explain it to us.
I think they gave me a little, I don't know if it's anesthesia to like numb the pain a little bit. Then an incision close to the nipple.
And what came out?
That's not the procedure. We don't do an incision.
I don't know what, but something went into my.
Okay, so
my results are
here. Are you saying that's false? It's not possible to.
No, it's not. It's not sounding like a fine needle. It's not sounding like a core biopsy. It's not sounding like a fine needle. We use a needle. It's a needle.
This one is like how do I put it? I will call it a machine. I don't know the right terms.
Oh, listen, you people are using. Up. We don't use machine for biopsy as well.
That's
an invasive procedure. We used a needle.
Something went into my boobs. They brought out some. I think they said
what part of your boobs? Was it
exactly
your
what type of your
was
boobs?
it?
The lump was found under my boobs. It moves sometimes. Sometimes it looks as if it beeps. And so I think around that place, I think they said they bring out. I don't know if there's particle of the lumps or thereabout. That's what they say. Yeah, they took for the biopsy.
With a machine.
Sorry, is that
maybe a pin?
No, it's
medically feasible.
No, it's a long needle.
Maybe that's what
has a trigger.
Okay,
it's like a mini gun.
What's the size of the needle they used for you? If you're going to estimate it.
How do I?
Was it like 2 inches long, 1 inch long? How was the needle?
I was lying down, so not like you're seeing exactly what is happening. And I'm not in the medical term, so I don't want to say the things.
I'm sorry to say this, right?
Go ahead.
I saw that you studied economics, right? Okay, fantastic. I interesting enough, I dropped econs for further months because economics was very, very detailed and very, very... So as someone that studied econs, I would expect you that if you have a life-threatening diagnosis, you should know it in and out. Because when I see patients with chronic medical conditions, they know their condition in and out. Like sometimes they even know new researches that I have not even heard of because they are trying to survive. I find it very strange that you are mixing radiologists, oncologists. I feel like it's something you should know.
No, it's not something I should know because cancer is not something I am aware about. I've said it over and over again.
No, but you've been given this. It's been 2 weeks since you came out to talk about this, and you mentioned stage 4. That was the first video I ever saw from you.
Yes, that was
stage 4. How did they come about that stage 4?
I'm not supposed to know. So maybe at this point we are going
to.
That's what I'm trying to say. At this point, we are going to be asking the medical doctor. So when this whole shenanigans came out on social media, everybody just said, let's get a second and a third option.
Okay, so let me say something. Exactly, how did you know it was stage 4? Because he seems quite confident with that stage 4.
Because that was what I was told. I'm not a medical doctor.
How is it possible to say you have stage 4?
It was that same Enugu doctor.
Please, yes. Is it on in your report?
Exactly.
She's willing to show the doctor.
I will share.
Yes, I'm interested to
I would
see.
share.
So this is your stage 4 report. Is it the doctor that told you that it was stage 4?
Yes, the doctor.
By the time you went there the second time?
Yes.
But just based on seeing you was when he calculated that it was stage 4?
I do not know them. I don't want to say.
What do you understand? Because if someone tells me something, right, I would go and read up on it, right? So what did you understand by stage 4? Because I'm assuming that you don't want to die, right? So if someone tells you stage 4, it sounds advanced, right? Or you don't know that.
Yeah, that's the reason why I broke out on social media.
Social media, to answer the question for you, what was social media? What was your goal on social media?
Now, as a medical practitioner, when they tell you have cancer, it's already traumatic alone.
Okay.
I didn't even have the guts to go and start reading. In fact, the major reason I came on social media was I wanted to see people who have experienced the same thing.
Yeah, but the big question is how did you conclude that it was stage 4?
Stage 4, exactly.
Did the doctor just look at you and say, "Oh, this is stage 4"?
She's willing to share the report.
That is what I was
Why not allow
told.
the doctor look at it?
That was what I was told.
Yes, I'm very interested.
Can she look at it?
That's what I was told.
And let me ask you, as a lawyer, if someone publicly claims...
It's interesting that you're bringing system results to me because Dr. Odigwe, the pathologist that signed this report, because of course we have a...
Is it the same report as the one that we saw?
Yes, the pathologist that signed this result lives in Asaba. And I'm a doctor, of course. I can trace any doctor in Nigeria. And I called him on Tuesday.
Sorry,
and he knows
is that the same report?
Yes, it's the same result. It's the same result that is going around social media. And this particular pathologist said he knows nothing about this. And he is based in Asaba, not
the pathologist of the report?
Yes, of this report is based in Asaba. I know that for an absolute fact.
So he told you
so that's the first one?
Yes, because, yes.
He told you that he has nothing to do with it?
Yes, and he stays in Asaba. The address here is Enugu. He hasn't been to Enugu in recent times. He lives in Asaba.
So how do you respond to that?
This pathologist stays in Asaba.
I'm saying that the pathologist that you put in that report, which you claim
that signed this report stays in Asaba. That I know for an absolute fact.
Please, I want to ask again. Is this report the same report that we saw last week?
Yes, it is. It's the same one.
Report that we saw last week, that Blessing you claim you didn't post on your Instagram page and on your social media page, is the same report that guy,
yes,
the guy
exactly.
that we saw on the video, which unfortunately they have not been able to show us, is the same report he printed. So this is your real report.
So that's the first
What happened to the brother of the girl who claims that this report was forged.
I don't know who the person is.
So it's not a fake report.
No, it's not a fake
But the brother of the girl that you just saw just now says this report is his sister's report.
It's not.
And this doctor stays in
So are you
Asaba.
saying, and number one, you're saying it's you don't know that man. Number two, you're also saying you didn't post this report
I didn't.
to the guy who just spoke on social media.
Absolutely.
But for some coincidence or some funny reason, the reports tally. The report the guy posted and the
Perfectly.
report here, they are totally the same. Word for word.
Even this doesn't tell us that it's stage 4.
But you are not even saying the oncologist whose name is there.
No, the pathologist.
The pathologist whose name is there said he doesn't
lives in
know.
Asaba and he doesn't know anything about this.
So, Blessing, what do you want to say about
Diagnosed
that?
cancer?
No, so the way it works is that, you know, in medicine there are different fields, right? So the process for a person that comes with a breast lump, you don't know what it is. So the first stage is to go for imaging. You come back from imaging. Right now, the modality is to do a biopsy, fine needle aspiration biopsy. Even if it comes out benign, you have to take out the lump. You
So
cannot go because you cannot be very
sure
sure.
from the
No, yes, because
that
that
is
is-
whether she wanted it or not.
That is
This
the
not your
carelessness.
choice, unless you discharge yourself against or you do it against medical advice. It's not likely. You cannot come to me and you said you're not ready unless you're not medically fit. Maybe you're very sick, you're pregnant, you're not medically fit. But it's a if they're thinking it's benign, it's a simple surgery. It's not invasive.
Okay.
It's a day surgery. Some people go home that same day. They do go home that same day.
No, but you see, right now it is there are conflicting. There's already inconsistency.